Hey, how you doing, Patriots? It's been a couple days here. Today is March 6th, 2024, Wednesday. This is J6 Freedom Corner, J6 Vigil Updates. Let's see here. Alright, we're going to start off today. Wait for everyone to gather in here. Hi, crying in the dark. Alright, we already got a crew in here. Hi, Lisa, Silly. Hello. Hope all is well, Patriots. I hope all is well. Hi, Docs and Grandma, Kathy. Deb Vi, hello. Well, thanks for joining me, Patriots. I'm going to just read a quick article here about the Amos Miller farm. This was the article that was written about the ruling that the judge made. This was in the Lancaster paper from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is where that hearing was. Judge blocks raw milk sales. As part of a years-long battle between county farmer and regulators, court maintains license needed for products. Upper Lake Cock farmer Amos Miller cannot sell raw milk products or products made from it to the public under an order issued by a Lancaster County judge Friday afternoon. Judge Thomas Spinagle's order also allows the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture to inspect any location where Miller packages or distributes raw milk and to test Miller's dairy products. The ruling is a win for the department, which sought to prevent Miller from producing and selling raw milk and products while its lawsuit against him plays out. But Miller's California-based attorney, Robert E. Barnes, said the judge actually reduced the scope of the original injunction on Miller's business. Spinagle's order only prohibits marketing and sale of raw milk products and protects family and non-commercial use, Barnes said. The order explicitly says Miller can provide raw milk and products made from it to immediate family members. The department sued Miller on January 24th, saying his business doesn't have permits to sell raw milk or raw cheese, nor does it have a required retail license. The lawsuit followed a January 4th raid on Miller's farm in Upper Lecoq Township, which in turn was prompted by two illnesses late last year, one in New York and one in Michigan, traced to Miller's raw eggnog. Spinagle's order comes after a 3+ hour hearing Thursday that centered on the dangers the Agriculture Department contends Miller's products pose to the public. At the hearing, several supporters testified that Miller's products are necessary to them. Spinagle's order acknowledged that. Nothing in this order is to distract from the sincerely held beliefs of individuals who believe in the benefits of raw milk products. However, this court cannot ignore this Commonwealth's regulations requiring a permit to sell raw milk. To do otherwise is to improperly usurp the authority and responsibility of the Pennsylvania General Assembly, Spinagle wrote. Spinagle also said Miller can easily resolve his legal troubles. He said he would reconsider his order if Miller applies for a raw milk permit and, in good faith, commits to testing and documentation. But Barnes said his client would continue to appeal and referred to another part of Spinagle's order in which the judge noted the General Assembly established the laws governing food safety in the Commonwealth. The court accepts the need people have for Amos Miller's products, but claims the legislature must fix that need, he said, adding, While we welcome the judge's call for legislative remedy, we will appeal the order, and the members of Miller's private buying club plan to sue Agriculture Secretary Russell Redding for violating their constitutional rights. Miller did not respond to a request for comment. Rally in support. At least 100 supporters rallied outside the Lancaster County Courthouse on Thursday ahead of the hearing presided over by Spinagle. The crowd represented a broad range of political views, but all in attendance were wary of government involvement in the food system. Richard Myers of Eden Township spoke for many when he stepped to the microphone set up on the sidewalk on the first block of North Duke Street. "This is government malfeasance and corruption. It's evil what they are doing to Mr. Miller," Myers said. "There's antibiotics and pesticides in the food we buy from a grocery store. They, the government, should be challenging that too. But no, they go after a poor working man. It's a two-tiered justice system." Miller's case has drawn national attention from far-right media, and as of Friday afternoon, an online fundraiser set up to support his operation had raised $254,000. So that's the latest scoop on the Amos Miller thing. There's a nice little sign of Amos's organic farm sign. All right, I got a couple of memes for y'all here. And then we'll get into some, the last two vigils. I haven't had an update in 2 days here, so we got a vigil number 583 and 584 to talk about. Basically, things are running like clockwork down at Freedom Corner. Got tons of phone calls. And a couple of updates regarding some of the inmates there. So on Monday, vigil number 583, Taylor Jonatakis called out. We got a call from the Q and Brew crew. We got a call from David Geitzend and Jeff Sable. Taylor was talking about, this was on Monday when that 9-0 Supreme Court hearing gave the ruling in favor of Trump. Which was no surprise to John Taylor. He was expecting that type of a ruling there. But then Taylor was also going into the fact that the Constitution is under attack, man. There's an effort to break the Constitution, and this has been ongoing for a while now. Taylor was saying that we have to go towards the Constitution to solve problems, not away from it. And that made a lot of sense to me because it seems that, let's get these off of here for a second. It just seems like every time there's a problem with the Constitution, people are going, "Oh, we got to change the Constitution. We got to make a new amendment, or we got to modify this certain amendment." I totally disagree with that. I think our problems are happening where we have strayed away from the Constitution and gotten away from the framework that the Constitution sets up for us here. All right, who we got in here? Priscilla, Lisa McNeely, hello. Cleo, good to see you, Cleo. Nova, hello. Ridgeline, there you are. All right, it's good to see you, Patriots. We're all staying up on the battle. Staying up on the battle. Free our J6 political hostages now. That's right, man. How long can this go on? Hey there, Cindy. How are you? Hope to see you one of these days. All right, we got the Calvary here. How you doing, Calvary? Good to see you, Cindy. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, there's this effort to break the Constitution or to change it or to tell everybody that it's outdated or that it doesn't mean what it says. It's a living document, but it's not. It's black and white. It's worked for almost 250 years, and I think our problems start when they start going away from it or bending and contorting what's written in that Constitution. Taylor also mentioned about these committee hearings. There was a recent committee hearing where Hunter Biden came in, and it was a closed door committee hearing. I don't get what's up with all the secrecy in this country. We got all these three-letter agencies that go do stuff all over the world, and I believe that those agencies are making enemies of America out there. The CIA has helped topple over 100 governments across the planet, and I think those days have got to end. We, the people, run this country. They work for us. We have a system where we boot people out of office that aren't doing what we, the people, want them to do. And the only way we can do that is by voting them out. And the only way we can vote is if we have information. And if they're hiding information from us, that makes the whole thing just fall right apart. We cannot vote intelligently if we don't have the information that we need to make an intelligent vote, man. All right, Calvary, yes. Thank you for sending donations. Thank you for all who have sent in donations, too, in the past. It's definitely necessary, and I'm definitely looking to get down to D.C. here soon, shortly. Got a couple of weeks here where it would really there's some work needs to be done down in DC, man, that's for sure. All right, to Donna Ray, we got a extra MAGA fun this Saturday rally in Rome, Georgia. All right. If you're down in that Rome, Georgia area, definitely hit it up. It's the new American culture. Doing flag waves and convoys. Love it. See that. Okay, and we got links. Nikki Haley suspends campaign. Vows to promote Ukraine, refuses to endorse Trump. What a gal. What else did I see about Nikki Haley? Oh, Nikki Haley won Vermont also. And it just so happens that Vermont is also one of those areas where Democrats can vote in the Republican primary. How about that? They don't have any qualms about cheating. They'll win by any means necessary. All right, Patriots, here's the link. This is my only way of getting support from you guys. I don't have a Give, Send, Go. I don't know about all that stuff. I'm just a knucklehead with a phone. I just got this phone like 2 years ago, and I'm still figuring it out. But I got a P.O. box number, so I'm looking to build up a little bit of a war chest. There's other people down there, too. A couple of you Patriots have sent me money, knowing that I was going to be going down to D.C. to pass on to other Patriots down there. And that is also a possibility. Especially if sending money in the mail is your only way of donating. If you don't have the ability to donate on a Give, Send, Go account or a Cash App or somehow over your phone electronically, there was a couple of Patriots that just believe in the mail system. That's the only way that they do it. And I've gotten donations for Rebecca and Stormtrooper in the past, and Patriots like Stormtrooper, they can't cash a check in D.C. because they don't have bank accounts there. So that's also an option. If you want to get money to somebody that's in D.C., I know some of you have been saying you wanted to donate for Katie. Katie's our trusty flag-waving patriot down on Freedom Corner. She had a couple of auctions over the summer, but a couple of you has expressed a want to get money to Katie. So if that's what you want to do, I can also facilitate that for them. I can deposit a check here and bring them the cash if that's what if that would work for you guys. There is also, what else? Or just to pass on a gift card or something like that too. That was another person also sent some gift cards down for them too, man. I'm getting a haircut. It's still a little cold out. Before I cut it all down, I wanna wait till the weather warms up a little. Then I'll get the buzz cut for the summer. Okay, Calvary. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, after Taylor's call on Monday, we got a call from Chris Quaglin and Mark Brew. And Chris Quaglin's sentencing is coming up here real soon. He said March 12th. And that one's going to be a doozy. I'll tell you what, if anybody has been up for a lengthy sentence, it's Chris, man. Chris did not plead deal out. You know, he has held his ground, and they have stacked, 13 or 14 felonies on him by now. Plus all the letter writing and all that. He wants to get to Judge McFadden, get a letter to Judge McFadden. He has listed all these grievances. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Chris Quaglin's sentencing turns out on the 12th here. That was a tentative date, the 12th, so that could or may or may not change by then. On Monday then, after Chris and Mark were talking, Sherry got on the microphone with a call to action, man. We got a female J6er. Her name is Rachel Powell. She's a mother. She is a wonderful patriot that somehow got railroaded into this. And the food that she is receiving is totally inadequate. She has been in there now for 2 months since she got sentenced. And she lost 14 pounds. She's a small gal, and that's a lot of weight for somebody her size. So if we can, there's been all kinds of food complaints too, in the other calls here from the J6ers. Just about the quality of food in this prison is horrendous. It's absolutely disgusting what they're trying to feed these guys. I think it has gotten better, and there was an injunction on the prison to improve the diet on January 1st, but we're seeing very little of that. Chris Quaglin and Mark Brew are saying some of the guys are like growing breasts because there's hormones or something in the food. It is just not good food, and I think if we do a call to action, let's light up that prison's phone numbers again, and let's make sure that Rachel Powell is getting an adequate diet here. I mean, why is she losing this type of weight after only 2 months in the gulag there? It's not good, man. So I know you patriots are awesome on the phone lines. Let's not let up on this phone line stuff. I know it's easy to give up. They don't work for us, it seems like, but I'm still calling my congressman, my state representatives, pretty much every day. I just called my state rep today about Amos Miller, and nobody answered the phone. Had to leave a message. Maybe they'll call me back, but at least I called. They got to deal with something there, right? All right, here we got some great Super Tuesday results. Trump just rocked it, man. Yeah, so Haley won D.C. and Vermont because Democrats can vote in the Republican primary. So you got to ask yourself, why would a Republican want to vote in the Republican primary other than to cast a vote that's going to queer the whole count, you know? The only reason you would want to do that is to deceive. And that is, they are of the father of lies. That is what they do. No doubt about it. Yeah, this Rachel Powell thing is horrible, man. There's some stuff, if you Google Rachel Powell, there's some really great articles and interviews with her. I mean, she is just a doll. and a patriot. You know, she went there on January 6th to stand up, man. Zimmerman is not my rep, crying. Oh man, I can't remember his name. It'll come to me here. His son lives right across the street. Mentzer, Stephen Mentzer is his name. That's my state rep. My federal House of Representatives guy is Lloyd Smucker. Yeah, no, Trump must figure out how to get those traitors on his side. Well, maybe they'll wise up. So many elections, I didn't like either candidate, and I ended up just voting Republican straight tickets, even though that means I had to vote for McCain. What a loser that guy was, but I couldn't vote for the other guy. I had to vote for Romney the one year, the sweater vest candidate. It was just horrible. I had to hold my nose and vote for these guys. And I had to hold my nose and vote for the Bushes too. I did not like those guys at all, but I couldn't bring myself to vote for the other guy. So I think these traitors, these people who wanted Haley and Chris Christie and sanctimonious, they'll vote for Trump because they just can't vote for Biden. I mean, it would be really hard to actually have Trump derangement syndrome as a Republican so bad that you would actually vote for Biden. I mean, that would be kind of outrageous. Wow, look at this. There's a cerebral thought here, man. To achieve world government, it is necessary to remove from the minds of men their individualism, loyalty to family traditions, national patriotism, and religious dogmas. How true, how true. And what do we see in America, man? The destruction of the family over the last 40 years on television and media. The removal of American culture and the celebration of diversity, okay? That is division, diversity, division. That is not unity. We have been under attack for so long, and they caught us, they blindsided us with a lot of this stuff. But that's exactly what needs to be done, and that's exactly who the enemy is right here. We have defined the enemy, and it is globalism. And then we got Doritos, all right? There's a story about Doritos just hired some wacky trans something person, and I just heard that they fired that person. But the enemy is globalism, okay? We don't need them to go out and hire these freak show people to do their advertising before we start boycotting. Just get it in your mind, folks, that we are against the globalists, man. So made in America means a lot. The products that come in from overseas here comes from a globalist economic machine. And that is the enemy of we the people of America, the enemy of this country, the United States of America. Hi, Jay Jones. Good to see you, brother. It's a good Tucker show here. All right, here's another. All right, man, we got some good comments coming in from the chat today. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, it was planned that way. Definitely, definitely. Hi, Stormbringer. Good to see you, bud. I was a little quiet this morning. I was just still waking up during your American Patriot News broadcast this morning, but it was good. It was very good. You guys are doing a great job. Even on the road, man. I mean, Matt was on the road there. He didn't need a studio. That was great, man. So prayers up for Rachel Powell, and maybe phone call to the jail about the diets that they're getting fed. It is really horrible. I wish we could get to the bottom of who owns that prison, man, because it is a privately owned prison, and I've never heard any information out on that yet here. But it is a private prison, and it contracts to the Department of Corrections of Washington, D.C. So if we're not getting results from the Department of Corrections, maybe we should go to their boss, the people who own that prison, and start rattling that cage, man. Okay, then after Sherry's message about Rachel Paul, we got a call from David Gietzen, and he had just gotten a visit from our all-star patriot Sherry, Sapphire Patriot, on Friday. So he was able to say hello to his family. They were watching on the live streams. He got to say hi to all like 15 of his family members. Here's a J6er. He's in prison. He's not the only guy that this FJB administration is affecting, man. He's got nieces and nephews and sisters and parents, and they're all hurting because he's in prison right now for standing up for his First Amendment rights. For his First Amendment. If we don't have a First Amendment, America, we got nothing. All kinds of statements about that. Tucker Carlson has spoke on that at length. If we don't got a First Amendment, we don't have anything. What else did he? He said hi. David Gateson said hi to his family, and they were asking him if there's any books that he wants, and he said he wants a Far Side comic book. I guess he likes the Far Side, which is that's a good comic. Very cerebral. I like comics that make you think, that got a point. It's a good way to get their points across. Okay, and then at the end of that night, Monday, Jeff Sable called in the national anthem. All these new guys in the gulag, man, they are singing it well and singing it loud and singing it proud, man. All right, here we go. Benjamin Rush from way back. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship. How about that, man? Didn't Benjamin Rush sign the Declaration of Independence? I know he's from way back in that era. And look what we got. Look what we got. Obamacare. Integrating medical right into the government, man. All right, Dead for Freedom says Ohio Navy mom ordered that book for him right then. Ohio Navy mom, what a patriot. Ohio Navy mom and AJ, they're wonderful people. Wonderful people. Great Ohio patriots there. Okay, then after the anthem, Sable was talking about there was a report that 3 undersea cables in the Red Sea were cut, okay? Potentially interfering with internet, all media in the whole Middle East region there. Oh man, what's this? Waste of the day. National Institute of Health awards $200,000 grant for transgendered voice training. Whoa. Well, that is one way to tell them apart, man. They get all the operations, and the voice never matches what you're looking at. That's for sure. That's a crazy thing. And there's your government. That's your tax money, America. That's a big, important thing to all of us, right? If a transgender has a funny voice, looks like a guy but has a girl's voice, or looks like a girl that has a guy's voice. I know we ran into one of them out there at the mall, 1776, man. There was this one freaky guy that would come around, or gal. I don't know what, but yeah, the voice did not match what you were looking at, that's for sure. Yeah, watch out for that Adam's apple. So if we got these 3 undersea cables that's going to interfere with the internet, I thought all that was on satellites. So this this doesn't add up in my head either. All right, the satellites. Yet we got all these undersea cables. There's a lot of stuff about this, and we got to understand, Patriots. Everything we think we know is probably a lie, and it goes way deeper than what we're dipping our toes into right now. So these undersea cables are something. I haven't heard anything other after that news story on Monday. Well, I guess that news story came out over the weekend. That's why Jeff was reporting on it. But I don't know. Sometimes I think they just put news out there to distract from other real news. And that cable story might have been one of those. And then also Jeff Sable's next point was that he heard Hillary was going to be running for president. I cannot imagine that to be true. I mean, the Democrats, they're gonna go with FJB. But how many times did Hillary not win? How many losers can they propose for their constituents to vote for? Just they're gonna get rid of one loser and bring another loser in. That would be hard to believe, and I kind of thought that was a fake news story, just to distract for a minute or two from the real topics of conversation, man. Paula Berlinski, thanks for being in here. I've seen you before. Always got some crazy good comments here. Chicago voters have learned their lesson since electing Lori Lightfoot as mayor. The lesson is no more sexy mayors. That's a good one. And then Monday night, Jeff Sable was also saying about watch out for a black swan event. Black swan events are just the COVID. COVID was a black swan event. Okay, just from out of nowhere, for you don't know what reason. It seems like it's this reason, but it's actually that reason. And of course, the sickness was brought on us, and that's how the Pennsylvania Supreme Court changed all the election laws illegally here. But it didn't matter. They changed them. The wrong people won our elections, and then the rest is history. The Supreme Court then had a hearing about whether or not they were allowed to change the elections. They found that they weren't allowed. This was a year later, but the damage was done already. All right, we got a lot of this going on in the world right now. Illegal alien drove under the influence and killed a Washington state trooper. This is happening all over the place, Patriots. Way more than what we're hearing about on TV. It's happening everywhere. Donna Ray, I don't know which Brandon they're going to put up at the State of the Union, but that should be something, man. That should be something. We'll see what he does with that. I don't know how they get him up and running for that long of a period of time. It's going to be wild. He's going to get all jacked up on something, and it might be the robot one, maybe, Don Ray. They might put the robot Joe up there. Yeah, Chicago's new mayor isn't any better. Okay. Let's go over real quick the Tuesday vigil. That was vigil 584 from last night. Taylor Johnakakis was calling about Super Tuesday. Of course, we know how that's all in the history books now. Trump rocked it with incredible record-breaking margins and stuff. Newman, a lot of people have been talking about JFK Jr. running with Trump. I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to Trump. I was a fan of having JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. in there. You mean RFK Jr. Newman, by the way? JFK Jr. is not alive. He's deceased. Trump is going to go to live comment during the State of the Union. How is that going to happen? Trump is going to live comment during the State of the Union? Oh my goodness. That would be cool to have a split screen and then have Trump on one side just commenting on it like a TikTok video. Hi, cutie cat. Good to see you here. Yeah, you were talking about RFK Jr., right? And RFK Jr., I mean, he would be the guy I would want to send after Fauci. He wrote that book, The Real Anthony Fauci. I read that book. It's a lot of details, but oh my gosh, does he have a line on Fauci. All the way back to the AIDS pandemic when Fauci was all in charge of that, but nobody watched it because it was the homosexual community. But that was a whole dry run for what he did with the COVID vaccines and stuff. And there's other people that can go after Fauci. So I don't think it would be good for him to let in a guy like RFK Jr. RFK Jr. is very much against the Second Amendment. He's a Democrat for sure. But he is on board with a couple of the things with the vaccines like we are. Okay, Carol Burton's got a link up here. This is our Ohio rally going to be going on in July. Is that right? Whatever happened on court with Pelican? We haven't gone to court yet. That's coming up. Yeah, I love it when Trump imitates FJB. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Freedom Festival. Mount Gilead, Ohio, July 26th to 28th. Pure blood. Love it. Love it. All right, if I was in office and there was a major infectious disease outbreak, how would you handle it? I would just say you can just put out as much information as you can about it. Do not censor information about it. I think that's where the people that Trump put in charge of that got in trouble. Is they censored a lot of stuff, man. Terror destroyer. Depopulation should be the highest priority of the United States foreign policy towards the third world. I don't know. That's some sketchy territory there. We don't want to get into the depopulation business like Canada. They got a lot of stuff there where they're euthanizing their people, man. They're trying to talk them into committing suicide if they got deadly diseases. So Freedom Corner Tuesday night, they had a cool little group prayer at the beginning of the vigil. It's a group that called in. They do a Zoom FaceTime on the camera, and a group somewhere else that prays every night for the patriots in the jail there. Call in on Tuesday nights and do a group prayer with the Freedom Corner patriots there. Taylor John Attackers was the first call in, and man, this guy, I mean, he calls in like every night, and he's always got a lot to say. It's so much, you almost got to stop and digest it for a while, but then another phone call comes in. But he was all happy about Super Tuesday and Trump routing his enemies and that. And then Taylor had a story about how he voted for Obama the first year, and he was a younger guy then. And he says he voted for him in his misinformed youth. The schools, when you go to school, they're always telling you how great communism is and it takes a village stuff. And it all sounds really good until you start really thinking it through, you know. Do you really want a universal pay? You want the government just to give you money, and then you got to go do a government job. You don't get money for it, but you just work it because that's your job. It doesn't do well for competition. It doesn't facilitate the needs that every family has. They're gonna, somebody was just telling me about their mother that lives in Cuba, and her mother doesn't get enough toilet paper from Castro, or the government there, because you can't just go out and buy toilet paper. You get a credit, and you get that many rolls of toilet paper. But if they're not giving you enough, there's nowhere to go to get more. There's no options there. You get what the government gives you. That is not freedom. That is not life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, here's an RFK statement. If we don't cut Carbon's money pipeline, we will pay for their gasoline with floods, droughts, fires, superstorms, drowned cities, mass extinctions, wars, and collapsing civilizations. So he's a climate change activist too. There's another reason not to have RFK Jr. in there with Trump. And there are so many good people that he could pick. Trump could pick many. There's a lot of them, and we got to see what his agenda is. I think whoever it is going to take a back seat to Trump, that's for sure. Trump has proven that he can take care of all fronts pretty much at all times. And if he didn't have all these people just biting at his heels the first time he was in office, he would have got twice as much done. It's amazing the damage that Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan did to Donald Trump's first 2 years in office. I mean, two Republicans pretty much hog-tied Donald Trump up for the first 2 years of his presidency, man. Yeah, we'll see about that Trump FJB debate, huh? So yeah, Taylor said he voted for Obama, but that's it. When you're young, you get through the school system, and then you sort through things. And that's why I just look at these old liberals, like, what is wrong with them, man? Somebody said there's two things you should fear, and that's a young conservative and an old liberal. And when I'm watching these rallies, these Palestinian rallies that are going on all across the country right now, it's just surprising how many old people are in that crowd. And man, they have a look to them, and they're screaming for their own captivity, their own enslavement, man. It's crazy. All right, Sapphire Patriot's got a good idea here. I think everyone should boycott the State of the Union address and watch the J6 vigil. That's right, Sherry. Right on. That's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. Trump Higgins. I didn't think Higgins, man. And he could just put Higgins on the J6 problem. Higgins has tapped into all the pertinent information on J6, man. That Tucker Higgins interview is incredible. But Higgins is just surrounded there. He can't do anything himself there. Because really, we have a constitutional republic. But once you get into the halls of Congress, it's a democracy in Congress, okay? It's mob rules in Congress, basically. We always get into this argument about it's a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. But there are layers in our government here. And basically, it's a constitutional republic when we go vote for our representatives. But once those representatives get inside the Capitol building, it's a democracy amongst them, okay? They're not electing representatives. They're making a vote. It is mob rules in the House of Representatives, basically. So this argument with democracy and republic, it just goes on, and it never ends. And yes, it doesn't matter if people understand that or not. I don't think. But they cram it down our throats here in the world, on the news all the time. Debt for Freedom has a lot of good shorts out right now too. Check out her channel, thumb through the shorts videos she put out. That explanation, Deb, that I just saw you put out today was really good. She found a clip of a guy explaining this 1512 ruling that 2 days ago or something, it came out that a certain ruling was made in a court that was going to flip all these J6 convictions. But really, this guy did a really good explanation. There's a short 8-minute video that explains a lot there from Debt for Freedom. Oh man, critical thinker. So that Truth Social is where Trump's going to be watching the State of the Union. So if you don't watch it on Fox, go to Truth Social and watch it. That should be very interesting, man. Yeah, Adam Schiff's got to go. I heard Steve Garvey's running against Adam Schiff, right? Well, the baseball player, Steve Garvey. All right, so then last night we got another call from Brew and Q, Mark Brew and Chris Quaglin, and they were ripping on the food. He had all kinds of notes about, how much food they're getting, what it was, what they said they were serving, what actually showed up while they were eating. And it's horrendous. The food problem, it's a real problem there in the Gulag, man. And I don't know if it's just happening to the J6ers. I got to assume it's all throughout the whole prison there. But there is something wrong, man. I love this statement, man. Arguing with liberals is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, the pigeon is just going to knock down all the pieces and crap on the board and strut around like he won. Yeah, RSBN will probably put do the broadcast of Trump. That would be cool. I'm going to look around for that. That's a great idea Trump's got. Trump is running an awesome campaign, for sure. So Brew and Q were just like ripping on the food thing. We got a call from John Pollock and Gregory Yetman last night. But I got to tell you, the chat I was in, we were just chatting up all kinds of stuff there. And I didn't get many notes taken on those two. But just know that was the third and fourth phone call from J6 inmates to Freedom Corner that night. And it went so long that Sherry had to do like a speed roll call before the anthem. And then we got up to like Andrew Taki, and then we had to stop and do the anthem and do the Jeff Sable phone call. But good, nice try, Sherry. That was not easy for sure. And then Jeff Sable called in. We had a great national anthem, and then some chit chat afterwards, news items and things like that. But man, we had a good chat going last night. It was really fun. It's a really good. It's just a great time to come together with like-minded people. We walk around in this world and hardly anybody is clued in. There's nobody that we can talk to about stuff. So when we get together in the chats and we're all on the same page, we're trading information or feeding each other information, it's just a beautiful thing, man. And necessary, it's necessary. So I didn't get a whole lot of notes on the last two phone calls. And just because the chat was just going off, man. We were having a great time together. A lot of prayer requests for everybody right now. A lot of people hurting, man. Medical needs and deaths in the family. Financial needs too, man. The financial's getting bad. It is really getting bad. Yeah, right, Ridgeline. We shouldn't even have to have a roll call. I can't wait till this is all over. We could go back to living normal lives, but we got to understand why we got into this predicament for sure. Evil has crept into our government slowly over time. And we should have been standing up every little time something like this happened, man. But we didn't. We were lazy. So there is never going to be really a going back to the time when we can just kind of think the government's on autopilot and show up and vote every 2 years, you know. We're going to have to stay maintained, stay plugged in, find a position in it somewhere, and recruit people to fill positions as they are open, which means positions at your election boards, at your school boards, on your library boards, running for office even, just monitoring, and maybe even starting up new medias where we can monitor, where more of us can monitor what's going on in the halls of our state governments and the federal government there. It's just so hard to find information, you know. If I want to find the voting record on a candidate, I spend hours looking for this stuff. There is no like one-stop shopping thing. Like there's a one-stop shopping thing. If you want to call your members of the federal government, there's a one-stop app called Bill Blaster. You can get that on your phone, okay? You just go to that Bill Blaster app. You can just look for your guy, hit a button, and it calls them. It makes that easy. That used to be so hard before I got that app. So if we could have other apps or websites that I just don't know about right now where you can find voting records on all candidates, because when they're running for office, I would like to know how they voted over the last year. And not like a big novel about it, but just a quick flow chart, a chart on what did they vote for, what did they vote against. And then another thing is voting for judges, all right? When it comes time to vote for a judge in our elections, I have no idea how to check this guy out, other than the fact he's running as a Republican or endorsed by the Republicans or endorsed by the Democrats. And that's not good enough here in Pennsylvania, because the Republican Party in Pennsylvania is probably one of the worst Republican parties in the nation right now. They are just horrible here. Okay, here we got a link. This is that one I was talking about, understanding the 1512 appeal. This pertains to all the J6ers. And this isn't the big one that the Supreme Court's going to rule on. This was a lower appellate court, I believe. But this guy has a great explanation of that. Uh-oh, who's got the rogue mod? Yeah, it's too easy for the courts to, and it seems like there's an awful lot of big decisions being made by courts that affect our lives to the core here. I don't remember courts having that much power. I imagine that the Supreme Court is sitting over there thinking, why are these states all of a sudden thinking they can take Trump off the ballots in their states? And why does the Supreme Court got to stop everything they're doing and judge on that? It's just, it shouldn't be allowed, period. Oh no, Tammy Green. That's the worst, when you get accused of being a troll. I don't know. I accidentally deleted a comment yesterday just because it was so close. Their comment was right above another comment I wanted to delete. So I accidentally deleted Papa Patriot's comment there. Check in again, Tammy. Maybe you're not deleted on there. I don't know. It's good to check back every once in a while and make sure. Hi, Gator Girl. Yeah, and hopefully Glory B's getting better now. She was on the rebound, but it sounded like she had the, a sickness that knocked her down for a while, but she's doing all right now. Oh, no. Trooper blocked Kim. Oh, man. That would be horrible. Okay, here we go. Senate roll call vote tallies are posted within an hour of the vote. You can view today's votes or use the vote tables. All right, because I'm just looking for a one-stop shop there, Sylvia. I know it's got to exist somewhere. I just don't know where it is yet. All right, Glory B's feeling a little better. Good. Yeah, I talked to her 2 days ago. She wasn't as bad as she was. She was getting better. Well, I don't know, Newman. You got to block some people. They don't want to help anything. They just want to disrupt. All right, and we got House roll call vote tallies. All right, I'm going to have to come back in here and grab those links. Okay, and then, let's see here. I watched a Trump speech last night. It was one that he gave in Virginia about 2 or 3 days ago, and it was awesome. And just some of the things that he was saying in there were really making a lot of sense, man. So if there's one thing you got to watch, it's a Trump speech every week or so, just to see where Trump is at. Okay, cool, Sherry. We'll do that, man. Newman, come on, man. Jesus didn't have a YouTube channel. You got to understand what we're talking about here, man. So you're saying that when people show up at Freedom Corner with bullhorns, they're allowed to stand there and run a siren the entire time we're trying to talk? I mean, is that what you're saying? It sounds like that's what you're saying, dude. And that ain't right, man. That is not being courteous. That is not loving your neighbor. They are the ones that are being disruptive. They don't have anything better to say. They just don't want you to be able to say what you're saying. They don't want anybody to hear what you're saying. They want to cut your tongue out, but not theirs. No, you don't let people into your chats that are disruptive like that. It doesn't facilitate the conversation about what's going on the video or the phone call that we're talking about at the time. And you can get in trouble with it, man. I mean, some people come in and start talking violent things, talking about guns and beating people up, and then they start coming in and promoting the people that are causing the disruptions across the street. No, there's definitely lots of instances where you're going to want to just get somebody out of your chat. You can ask them to leave. All right, if you're having a party in your living room and you got a guy that walks in who smells like shit and he's breaking things in your living room, you're going to ask the guy to leave. And if he doesn't voluntarily leave, you're going to kick him out. So that's just how it works, Newman. And we do mention Jesus to him before the door hits him in the butt on the way out, you know, because that's really what they're there for. They think they're there to be a disruption, but really what they're there is this is the only place where they're going to hear about Jesus and the fact that they need a savior and that they're a sinner and that you're not able to save yourself. So yeah, on the way out, they always get a Jesus message, man. I can't force them to accept Jesus as their savior, but if I tell them that's what they need, then their blood is not on my head. If we don't tell them, their blood is on my head. That's written, that's out of the scriptures right there, man. And that's another thing why we can't just be quiet, you know. It was part of the whole reason our country got into this trouble in the first place is because we didn't step up. Every time we should have just stood up and said something, we didn't. We let it go. Same thing with Jesus and salvation and the one true God, you know. The one true God is not all the other gods combined, you know. It is one thing to follow what you, if you have a belief in a God, and you learn about that God and then don't listen to the rules that you believe in, you're a hypocrite, right? So, and everybody's in a journey here. Nobody has arrived at perfection. Life is a journey. That's the whole part about this side of heaven, is we make mistakes, we learn, things are hidden, things are revealed, but you got to follow the rules your God sets out, you know. But our God isn't their God, and you know, people that worship Satan thinks he is God, but my God is not Satan. It's logical if you really think about it, man. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you mad. I love that saying, Cutie Cat. Yeah, Newman got old fast. What else did Trump? FJB is just a dumb guy. That's right out of Trump's mouth. Maganomics. He was calling economics Maganomics. He called him Crooked Sleepy Joe. You're fired. Get out of the White House. Seal the border. Stop the invasion. The world hates us. These are all comments Trump made in that speech there. He's got more felonies than Al Capone. True statement. True statement, man. The leader of the Civil War enemies got more jail time than got less jail time than Brandon Fellows, you know? The guy who led the Civil War against the U.S. government got less jail time than Brandon Fellows, man. Think about that. The sitting president of the United States has more felonies on him than Al Capone. That's the reality we're in. SOS. We are in trouble. The ship is going down. You're arranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If you ain't screaming like your hair's on fire, we got to save this country, man. Oh yeah, he was just ripping on the whole thing where we're not allowed to call the illegal immigrants or migrants. We've got to call them newcomers now. So he had a whole tirade about that, man. FJB, he can't even find the stairs. Here's another thing. We got to be careful with the AI. This AI thing, it hasn't hit us yet, but there's the ChatGPT that writes news articles for us now. There's AI that creates photographs now. So we got to be careful about this AI thing coming. And I did hear that Trump just talked to Elon Musk yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. So, and I know Elon has been speaking at a lot of group meetings about the direction that AI should take. And Elon's raising up a couple of flags on that, like saying this could get out of hand fast. It might not be a good thing. Paper ballots, voter ID, plain and simple, just like it used to be. That's all we need to do. And stop all the secrets and stuff. And then Trump's got a new name for Gavin Newsom. He's calling him New Scum. How? What a perfect name for that guy. He's not the swamp scum, he's the new scum. Perfect. I mean, God delivers these things sometimes, you know. Newsom didn't think his name would be so perfectly suited to a position he was going to be getting thrown into. But new scum. That's Gavin Newsom, all totally, man. All right, then I got word that Victoria Nuland, who works for our State Department over in the Ukraine, who is actually pretty much the leader of Ukraine. She's been there since before 2014, when the original uprisings that our CIA started over there started happening. 2014 is when Vladimir Putin says this whole Ukraine thing started. This didn't just start up in 2020 or 2021 or whenever this latest flare-up started. Vladimir Putin says this started in 2014, and Victoria Nuland was on the ground deciding who the next president of Ukraine would be. He was not elected into place, and he is an evil guy. Does not represent us, we the people. So Victoria Nuland is supposedly stepping down. She hasn't yet. I'll believe it when I see it. Her husband's name is Robert Keegan. He is also another outspoken guy. Once again, we got these two married people with different last names. They do that to confuse us. Basically, the New World Order is an empire that the U.S. was leading, man. So many countries tried to make their empires go all over the world. Greece did it, that was their downfall. Rome did it, that was their downfall. England did it, that was their downfall. Somehow or another, God kept America from trying to create a worldwide empire. And what I think, we learned that lesson, and that's why we lasted so long. But right now, I believe that our enemies, the New World Order's people, the globalists, are trying to invade our country with an empire's worth of people and give us all the problems as if we were spread all over the world with an empire. But basically, our government has become a monster. Empires have failed. They've expanded too quick, and they couldn't keep a rein on what originally worked, how they originally got into power. It got too spread out, too complicated, too huge. And what they're doing now is they're bringing the empires into our country. And we got to stop that immediately. It's blatant. It is going on. And anybody who tries to fight against it has FJB's administration hounding them, trying to throw them in jail. So hopefully this Victoria Nuland does step down. She announced her step down as soon as the Supreme Court made that ruling that Trump can be on the ballots. She saw the writing on the wall. She's one of the first rats to jump ship. There's many other candidates, any representatives that are currently in office that are now saying they're not running again. So I think the writing is on the wall for them. They see what's coming down the line. Trump is leading Biden already. I can't see any way Joe Biden can get out of something's going to happen. So we got cornered animals. If you've ever had a cornered animal in your garage or in your basement or in your house somewhere, they do crazy, crazy things, man. And that's the position our whole country is at right now. These Democrats are cornered. They know what's coming down. Trump is going to be back in office, and things are going to be different the second time around here. So there you have it, Patriots. Sorry we went 2 days without talking. The weather sucks out there today. I wasn't going to even try to do something outside today. Definitely would have loved to do that rather than being here. But thanks for joining me today, Patriots. And Freedom Corner is coming right up. And let's show some support for the Freedom Corner Warriors out there and our J6ers paying the big price for our freedom right now. So God bless you all, Patriots. I'll see you in the chat tonight at Freedom Corner, and we'll see you real soon. This is Jericho, over and out.